Good afternoon and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. We're going to make an embellishment today that we're going to call Have a Blast. It is the embellishment hop on Ginger's Corner, and I actually have already glued the red onto the black background, the black shadow. This is coming from the old Cricut cartridges. If you remember, if you watched my video yesterday, I had the girl, we did My Girl embellishment, and this is another one of those old Cricut cartridges, programs for that old original Cricut, and this one is called Boys Will Be Boys, that this little rocket ship is from, and then the clouds are actually from Stand and Salute. But I've glued that onto the shadow. This little part goes on next, and so we've got to do some inking, and as usual, while I'm inking, I think we'll go ahead and do today's twist, which is pretty short today. Hopefully you watched yesterday's video, and it came from Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12, and I'm going to remind you of what it said. It's if I can find it, I will. Anyway, it says there are ways that seem right to man, but the end is basically destruction. Well, today's comes from verse 16, a little later in that proverb, and it says, "A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a foolish man rages and is self-confident." And so I want to kind of tie those together. So with that last one, we have to seek God's wisdom. That was what it was telling us, that we have ways that we think are right, but they're not. And so we have to seek God's wisdom. So if we seek God's wisdom and we understand what evil is, and we recognize sin or wrong, the Bible refers to it as evil. If we recognize that sin or that wrong, then that means that we should avoid it. You know, as Christians in our society today, I think we, instead of really recognizing that sin and fleeing from it and standing up to it the way we should, we have kind of buckled to it and ignored it and just let it grow until basically it has consumed our society. And we look around and it's like we don't even recognize our society anymore. It's not the same culture and the same society that it was when we were children or teenagers. And so with God's wisdom, He can teach us to recognize, to truly recognize sin for what it is. And then we stand up to it and we avoid it in our own lives. And then as a result, collectively, as a nation, we are a better nation, and we're certainly more in God's will. So that is kind of our twist for today, to just seek God's help for us to recognize sin and then to do what He calls us to do, to certainly avoid it in our own lives, and then to stand up to it in our society. Pretty good twist today. So we are ready now. We've inked this, and we are ready now to put the little body part onto our little rocket ship. You know, these are fun to try to figure out. My sister-in-law's here this week, and we're going to the scrapbook convention, and we were deciding what I was going to do for these swaps. And we had these booklets out, and it's kind of funny because you're looking through this booklet, and you're going, okay, it's shift this, and it's layer that, and it was really kind of funny. You know, kind of takes a degree sometimes in Cricut usage to figure it out. But that's true with any of them, whether it's our silhouettes or our new Cricuts and all of the computerized things that they have, or whether it's these older ones that we have to figure out too. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put our little black shadow on this. And then I cut the trim pieces for this little rocket out of gold paper so that they would actually be shiny. I wanted my rocket kind of shiny. So we have our rocket just about put together. Get our little tail piece on there. There we go. Oops. And then this little piece, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but some kind of little sure essential piece of our rocket. All right, so that is our rocket. So let's set him aside. I went ahead and inked the clouds. The big thing with these clouds is I want them dimensional because I want my rocket to go in behind that. So we've got to make our little cloud dimensional. So I'm going to get some foam tape here, and I'm going to double some of it, and then part of it will be a single layer. So I've cut some foam strips, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to figure out how I'm going to layer this. I want it to be something about like that, and then I'm going to put my little rocket ship sort of in behind there. So I'm going to turn this over, get it about where I think I want it layered, and then I'm going to draw that. Now I know where I can put my foam tape and it be in the right position. So let's get some of these little strips of foam tape on there. And then we can get our cloud the way we want it. Like I said, I'm going to double the cloud on this foam tape. So I've got to take this off, and then I'm going to put another one on top of this because I want my rocket ship to be on one layer of foam tape. And I want more dimension than just one layer. So we're going to double this up. My sister-in-law's phone just went off. She's sitting over there trying to be quiet and not laugh at me talking to myself. Okay, so let's get this on here. Of course, it does not want to come off. Okay, so turn our cloud back over, get it positioned on there about the way we want it. Okay, and then I want to tuck this little rocket ship right in there like that. But I also want my little rocket ship on foam tape so that it's not just flat against that cloud. So we're just doing one layer of foam tape on the little rocket. So there we go. Now I also I didn't want to do this till I got this ready to set aside. I put some Nuvo drops. I'm sure you can't really see it, but it's almost like there's three little circles across there. So I used my Nuvo to actually put some little black dots where those circles are. So now we can set that aside to dry. Now I did make a title to go with this, and it says "Have a Blast." And so to kind of speed things up, I went ahead and inked the edges. I wanted that back. I did the 3 layers. I did this on my Cricut, and I did the offset and then offset the offset. So it's like a double offset. So I did this on my Cricut, and I cut the back layer in white, the middle layer in red, and then the top layer with the letters in blue to match my little spaceship. And I inked the edges, as you can see, of all the white pieces to make them kind of look like that cloud. So we have this first one that is the have. So let's get that on there. This is textured paper, so I'm not taking a chance of using my tape. I'm using the liquid adhesive. The tape just does not hold textured paper well enough for me. So now we have the have. Ready to go on there. I love making titles with my silhouette. It's so fast and so easy, and it just, to me, adds a lot to your layout. I'm not much into using the thickers. I do use them some. I know a lot of people that's their go-to thing, but they're expensive, and then you've got all these letters left over that you can't use. And so my go-to thing is really my Cricut or my silhouette for titles. You just have so many options and different fonts and possibilities, and I think they're cute looking, add a lot to your layout. They almost become an embellishment themselves. So I told you my sister-in-law's here. Friday, this is Wednesday, and Friday we go to the scrapbook convention once a year in Arlington. She comes, spends like a week with me. We go to the scrapbook convention, we usually spend all day on Friday. We have gone back on Saturday, especially if we do classes. Then sometimes it's necessary to go back on Saturday, but usually one day is enough, and we can spend all the money we have in one day without any problem. But that is Friday, and we cannot wait to get there. I mean, we're like little kids, waiting for a vacation or something. It's just crazy how we look forward to that, and that is this Friday. She's been here all week, and we've been playing, and then that is Friday, and we can't wait. Even during COVID, they had kind of a virtual one, and she came, and I guess they didn't have it at all that one year, and then the next year they had the virtual. In 2020, they didn't have it at all, and then 21 they had a virtual one, and it was fine. It was fun. We watched they did some virtual classes and different things like that, and it was fine. And then last year was really pretty good. And so hopefully this year will be really good too. All right, I think we've got it all finished. And I think when I put this in the scrapbook, I'm going to put this up on foam and let it overlap. And then I don't know for sure. I need to take the sticky off of where that overlaps. I'm not sure. I may put this like here, something like that, and let it overlap, or I might put it somewhere totally different, or just, I don't know. But I think it's a cute little embellishment. It certainly meets the qualification. Oh, I just touched my stuff. Oh, no. I can fix that. But it certainly meets the qualification of the hop for up in the air. And so I think it's going to be pretty cute. I'm going to have to fix this, but I'm going to show it to you. It's slick, so I can wipe it off and it'll be fine. I didn't think about letting that dry, but just to show you some close-ups of our little rocket ship. Get that, need my light to be a little better. Our rocket ship and our clouds. I think the gold really adds to that little rocket ship, and then our title, Have a Blast. So I hope you enjoyed today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this, and we'll see you later, and God bless.